All right.
Hey, I'm Brittany.
I'm Nicole.
And we're those girls. Welcome to season 2, episode 3 of our podcast. Today, we are talking more Reddit stories and what's going on in that world, because it's just another, lost my train of thought, but it's another realm of the universe.
I know. I think I have to get into it. I don't know if I can handle one more social platform, but
the amount of content that I can get through in 30 seconds is insane. Like, I don't post on it.
I was going to say, I feel like I could handle it because, I was just saying to you before we started, I haven't posted on my own social media in 6 days.
Right.
None of them. So if it's something I have to post on, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think I could ever post on it because, people are mean.
Can you do an anonymous?
I don't know. I don't have the time.
I guess you could just make up a username.
There are throwaway accounts. I don't know what that means or how you create one.
Be kitty bows.
Oh my God.
All right. So we'll tell them why we were laughing when we started.
Okay. So I get my nails done pretty regularly. So when I grew...
Hold on. So tell them how you started to tell me. So we went to lunch.
So no. So I called you last Friday.
Yep.
And you didn't answer. And I texted you. You didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't answer. And I texted you and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And you didn't respond. So I was like, okay.
I forget what I was doing. Whatever.
You had worked. Yeah. You had worked overnight, so I didn't know if you were sleeping.
Yeah.
I had finished a meeting, and so I was like, I'm gonna get my nails done. And so in between me getting to the nail salon and finishing at the nail salon, you texted back, and I was like, hey, why don't we grab lunch? And you're like, great, fine. And I'm like, by the way, I got a podcast story for you. We're just gonna go right in. It's material. So traditionally, when I get my nails done, I get them done probably once a month, sometimes twice a month. I go in with a design because they have these carts of polishes that if I have to pick a freaking color out, I'm going to be there for 7 hours. I don't want to do that.
And you always get a fancy one. You usually send them to me and you're like, which one?
Which one?
You like the holiday ones?
It's a full on thing.
I go in and I'm like, make them this long and black.
And black, right? So
every time.
So very seldom do I go in and I not have an idea. And I
wish we had a picture of it.
And it might be on her social at this point. It very well might be. You can look.
That's fine.
We'll look.
Keep going. Yeah.
And so I didn't go in with an idea this time. And as much as I love our nail technician, she's phenomenal. She always does great work. Every time I go in and I don't have a good idea or know what I want, she comes up with the craziest flipping things to put on my nails. And I always be like, no, I don't really want that. No, I don't want that.
And then she does it anyway.
She does it anyway. Well, I started therapy because I feel like that needs
this is a whole different topic.
But I started therapy, and part of therapy, the therapist was like, "You need to find your inner child." So I'm sitting in the nail chair, and the girl is going through her Instagram, there's so many layers to this, and she's like, she finds this, and all it reminded me of was cherries with little specks,
strawberry shortcake.
Thank
That's
you.
what it reminded me of.
Right, strawberry shortcake. And I'm like, yeah, but it's Valentine's, so why don't, instead of the cherries, or it was strawberries, one of the two, so why don't we do a heart? And I'm thinking she's gonna draw a heart on my finger.
We'll show them what it looks like now.
And so it
not that finger. We'll show them your whole hand.
I don't know.
I don't know. Just go like this.
No, with the camera, not the.
There you go.
So that's what it looks like. So she draws on these things, and then she's like, "You need a bow," and I'm like, "No, I don't need a bow. I don't need a bow." And I don't.
So wait, before you keep going, we get to lunch. This will tie into it. And you're telling me a different story.
Telling you a different.
Mid conversation, you're talking. And I just grab your hand and I go, "What is this?"
Yeah, you're mid. You're like, "What is happening?" So she's like, "You need a bow," and I'm like, "I don't need a bow. I don't need a bow. I don't need a bow." Whole time, therapist in the back of my head is like, "Find your inner child, do something," and I'm like, "Fine." So she pulls out this tray, and she has this. She finds a heart, and
they have gemstones, hearts, all these, anything you can think of.
And it is literally the heart is engulfing my finger. It's the whole ring finger nail is. So then she's like, the bow just looks so much better. And I'm like, okay, fine, do the bow. The whole thing I'm thinking is, all right, I'll get in the car and I'll just pop it right off. This woman came in with an entire cement truck full of
Oh yeah, she glued
acrylic,
that thing on.
glued it on so bad, and I'm gonna flick the camera off, that like there's a full insert left of where the bow sat because
The bow's gone though.
it took me 6 hours to peel off.
I feel like that would have hurt.
It did not hurt, but I was getting it caught in my hair. I was like, I wish we had a picture of it. So yeah, so the nails are done with a little indiscretion of some acrylic that I can't find for some reason, even though I paid for my nails to be done, I don't have it in me to go back and be like, the bow sucked. Give me my money back or take them off.
It was also like sharp.
It was super sharp.
It was a full, like, it almost looked like a toy, like a plastic toy, just glued to your
glued
nail.
to my fingers. So bows and my fingers do not work at all. No, that was.
I want to say so many inappropriate things.
Please
but I'm not.
say inappropriate things.
Like,
Please.
where did she want you? Like, where were you planning on sticking the bow?
Yeah, no,
You
like
could do so many things with it.
I don't know. Like it
She
was.
should have put it on your middle finger.
Oh my god, it's online.
Oh,
Okay.
show them.
All right, I'm gonna try to hide the name. Of
Yeah, because no, they're great.
they're fantastic. But that is
Look
what
at
the
this
bow
fucking-
looked like.
You're Instagram famous though. How many likes did it get?
It received none.
That sounds like my Instagram.
It received none. Okay. No more bows on the nails. That's not, yeah. So they're, although I'm getting a lot of compliments just on like,
No, they're
them
wicked
being
cute.
like Valentine's-y,
Yeah, no, they're
but
cute. I like them. I haven't
yeah.
gotten them done in so long.
They,
I always say that my nails reflect my financial stability at the moment, and they've been like this for a while. So 2024, we might get back to nails.
Show the camera.
No, they're so bad. They're like uneven, and no, they're gross.
oh God.
Ooh,
Lost
an earring.
Oh,
Okay.
we're losing earrings
Yeah, let's
on
take the
air.
other one
We're
out.
gonna take the other one off. Okay.
Oops.
So we have a new Reddit story.
Okay, what you got?
This one's I don't know. Okay, so it's titled Realtor and Lender. First time home buyer looking to see if this is normal. I got a pre-approval about a month ago and when I got it, my lender went over all the numbers with me. I sent the letter to my realtor after I got it. The next day I get a call from my lender that she reached out and gave him an address of a townhouse that I had looked at previously. He asked me if I was interested in that property and I said not really. We are both surprised she told him a property I wasn't really interested in. My realtor called me way later after that and said she just wanted to make sure I knew the numbers of everything, which she could have asked me if I needed since he had already done that. Fast forward to today, I put a backup offer on a house. I asked for closing costs, to which the seller asked if I was firm on that. My realtor told me what she estimated my closing costs to be. I told her I was firm on my offer. There have been some weird things going on with the house I put the offer on, so my realtor told me she was going to talk with some of her coworkers and broker and get back with me. The next thing I know, my lender is texting me saying he was working on real accurate costs to my realtor and wanted to confirm my down payment. My realtor then texts me saying she thought I had a different down payment percentage. I get realtors and lenders need to communicate and have a relationship. However, this feels a lot like a lot of her doing too much and without telling me. Is this normal?
It sounds like the realtor and the lender didn't communicate well. Is that what's
Right.
happening?
I think so.
So what I like to do, and I don't know if everyone does this, I don't know what other LOs do, and you know I do this. Whenever I get a new client, I connect us all on a thread and say, hey, Bobby got approved for this much money with this much money down at this type of loan, and I give the payments and I give everything, and then I say at the end, but when you put in offers, contact me so I can rerun the numbers, but this is where we're at. So maybe that didn't happen in the beginning. I usually try to get on text with my agents as well, like especially if I don't know them. So I'm assuming there was like a small communication. Honestly, in our world, that doesn't sound that bad. Like, that's not the worst thing to happen.
So do you have a worst thing to happen story? Like from what you've heard?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we've talked about it before, though. It would be our story, our first deal together. I just talked about it in the car again.
Oh, I don't remember.
It starts with a G.
Oh, yes. Yes. So we had, yeah.
And thank God, I mean, honestly, thank God you liked me enough to stay with me after. We did make the deal happen. I actually cried in the car with you more than once during that deal, and we were like very new to friendship.
We were very new to
And I was
friendship.
very new to what I think that was my first loan.
No.
It was the first one I got on my own that like, cause whenever
This
you
was
go to a new
referral.
company,
Yeah, it was a
sometimes they
referral.
give you like new ones to get you going. This was my first one that I had gotten by myself.
Yeah. That one had
Um,
come from a different real estate company that didn't think that it would close. At
Yeah, it
all.
was the owner's friends or his friend's son or something.
Something, yeah.
And he didn't want to deal with it. And he said, if you want to take this and you have an agent, have at it. Cause I had gone into his office and been like, hey, I'm new. He was actually one of my bar customers. And he owns a real estate company. And he threw me a bone and I made it close. And then he never sent me anything again. But
I mean,
I still made it
because
close.
you didn't refer
This
him
was,
back
we
to-
added 2 co-borrowers.
Yes.
This is a lesson on, we talked about this recently too,
Yeah.
like not checking documents. I took what he said as his income per year as fact.
Mm-hmm.
And then later down the road, I found out that he was self-employed and he only claimed $14,000 on his taxes. So he didn't have any income, basically.
My favorite part of that particular one was the house needed a ton of work, and we traditionally don't allow buyers and sellers to talk to each other. And
they became friends.
It was an FHA deal, and so the house needed work to be done to it in order for him to get
To
the
close,
financing.
yep.
And so we worked out a deal that the buyer could make the repairs ahead of time. So we had a key ahead of time to the property, and he was doing the repairs. He had become friendly with the seller, but then we show up to the closing table with his 2 co-borrowers in the car, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm watching the movers. And I was like, what do you mean you're watching the movers? He's like, I had Comcast installed 3 days ago. And I was like, you did what? And he's watching the cameras. And I'm like, you cannot go into this closing and act like you have anything in this house at all. Like, you're not supposed to be in this house. Like, well, I had a key.
Yeah, so anyone that doesn't know, who's never bought a house before, you cannot go in that house until the property is on record.
And it's your home.
And the keys are handed to you. Like, I know the
Yes.
keys were handed to him, but like, what if something went wrong in the moving and something broke? Or like,
yeah.
So that was probably my biggest burn, and we fixed it.
We
but
fixed it, yeah.
I learned a valuable lesson.
It's never dull in the industry at
No.
all. And we're finding, I think for me, we're finding that it's just everything's just so up in the air. Interest rates are kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they've kinda,
inventory
like,
is still
stopped a little
super
bit.
low. Oh, they have?
They've stopped going up,
Oh, what are they sitting at now?
like 6.5 still.
Oh, okay.
But that's better
fine.
than 6.5, 7, depending on your qualifying credit score and eligibility, because we've been going through that a lot. I have a good example of like a story of, it's like it's not super boring. I won't be long, but like we get a lot of like misinformation of like buyers who think they know everything.
Wait, someone thinks they know more than us?
And I've had a buyer that's new and he's buying an investment property. And he was shocked at the rate. And I was having a hard time convincing. He goes, well, I'm looking online and the national average is 7.5. And I said, yeah, that's the national average, number one, based on like an 800 credit score and not an investment property, because he has a primary, he has a Florida home. And so now he's buying an investment. I said, your investment has the least stake in the game.
Yeah.
If you're going to default on something, it's going to be that one. You're always going to live at home. You like your vacation home and you don't care about the investment if your business goes under.
I don't know. I think I would care about the vacation home.
Maybe, but like
just because of the
he keeps
fee.
being like, why are you making, because this is investment. He's interested in investing, good client to keep, but he's learning, like, he's like, they make this really hard to get. I'm like, yeah, because like that's the least stake you have in anything.
Yeah.
You're going to let that go before you let anything else go. You need somewhere to
Right.
live. So he's learning. I think he did a little more research and he like finally caved a little bit, because I was like, this is what you're going to get. I was
Right.
like, I went to my other friends at different companies. I'm like, hey, where are you at for rates? And I'm like, I'm right there. So he can shop. You can look around, but like that's where we're at.
You're in
so.
the. So talking about national averages compared to ours, we're working on kind of behind the scenes some really cool stuff coming out in the industry. And so we're pulling all of these averages and we're doing all of this stuff.
I will say I've been doing research for you for this thing we're doing we haven't talked about yet.
We're right there.
I have like loved doing it, and I was an English major. I told you that, and you like didn't know that before this. You were like, "You're really good at finding stuff. Why?" And I was like, "Oh, because I'm like a research geek." And it's actually like helped me in business knowing like these things that I never thought to look into before.
Right.
So
the national average of like a home sale in 2023 nationally is like $407,000. Like that's the average house. We're sitting in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts is so much higher, right?
Like over $850,000.
But like I didn't get any of those buyers. Where are they?
I know, really, right? Like I don't either. But talking about research, getting to know things, you met someone who has been emailing. And so
I can't give like the full way that we met.
No. I mean,
don't look at me, Al.
You can.
I don't know if I want to share that whole thing.
You do. It's a story.
Should I just give like the short version?
Yeah.
Okay. Short version is went up to New Hampshire to visit my friend who bought a house. I went out to dinner. I had 2 drinks. I went back to her house for over an hour. I'm going to drive home because I have a meeting the next day at 9. I get pulled over 4 minutes from her house in the back roads of New Hampshire. And I'm like, okay. I mean, in my mind, I was like, I'm good. I was actually good this time. I did not drink. But like, I literally was like, I'm not going to drink a lot. It's always super dangerous to have any drinks and get in the car, but everybody does it. Yeah. But I did the right thing this time.
Right.
He tells me, I can tell you've been drinking. He goes through the whole spiel with me. He was pretty nice. I could tell he was like a little bit nervous. But I'm also in the backwoods of Maine and New Hampshire and it had just snowed.
Yeah.
There's nothing around. There's no street lights. It's like back roads. And I'm like, am I going to die right now? So he's fine, but he's like, well, why do you live so far away? Because he looks at my license. And I tell him the whole story. And he goes, how many drinks you'd have? He went through all the things with me. He goes, I need to give you a sobriety test to see if you can drive home the hour and a half. And I looked at him. I was like, I was like, I have to meeting at like 9 a.m. Like I have to go home. And he's like, well, we're going to see if you can drive. And I said, what kind of sobriety test? He tells me he's not going to make me blow in the breathalyzer. He says you're going to do the walking and the eye test.
Which, like, not for nothing, I couldn't do those stone cold sober.
Well, so I made sure when I did it, I passed the eye test, no problem. It's salty and sandy and snowy. And I had on Uggs, but they had like a platform. And I had on baggy sweatpants. And I'm like, can I take these shoes off? I'm worried about doing the walk the line test with the shoes on. And I said, because I have heard this before, he told me right in the beginning, I have a body camera on, this whole thing's being recorded. Cool. Like, fine. So I said, I have bad ankles. I'm going to let you know, like, because they make you stand on one foot. They do all this stuff. He said, I did good on some of them, not on some of them, bad on some of them. And then I just look at him. I'm like, can I just have my friend come pick me up? Like, I know where this is going. And he let me, and he was super kind. Another guy came. They were both wicked nice to me. They let me get my stuff. They let me leave my car on the side of the road. I was fine. So I sent him a thank you card.
Right. Because we're in relationship business.
Well, I've just learned like the worst someone's going to say is no.
Right.
Or F you. And that's also fine. So in our little discussion, we're just hanging out on the side of the road waiting. Thank God my friend didn't go to bed. Yeah. God bless her. Thank you. Thank you. She was coming to get me, but she was like 5 or 10 minutes away. So we're literally just standing on the side of the road in the cold. So we're chit-chatting and he's like, I'm also from, I'm also your neighbor. And I was like, oh, and he lives in a town right near me. And I was like, oh, so we started talking and he's like, I want to buy a house soon. And blah, because I asked me if I need to get anything out of the car. And I said, I need to get my computer. It's blah, blah, blah. It has mortgage stuff on it. So we started talking about that. So I just sent him a thank you card. I was like, thank you for being super kind. Like, I really appreciate it. You guys were great. If you ever need anything and I can return the favor, here's my card.
Right.
He emailed me and said, thank you so much. Yeah, let's meet up pretty much in not so many words. And I said, okay, great. Here's my number. Text me. He then emails me again. Can't do this week or next week, but if you're in New Hampshire, let me know. That's weird, right? I don't get it. Al's shaking his head at me.
I know. I'm waiting for Al to respond. I'm hoping that he will, but he's not going to. He's going to. I think it's fine to have one. Okay, Al.
Tell me
Speak
what you
out.
think. Weigh in.
Speak
No, go
out.
ahead. Weigh in. I need an opinion. This just happened.
Speak out.
People watch this show to listen to you guys like screw this whole thing up. So I'm not going to give you any sensible information. You guys figure it out on your own, and it'll be entertaining to hear what you come up with.
So I don't think it was weird that he emailed you.
No,
Although,
I think that was appropriate.
Although I will say that, like, if you gave him your business card, our phone numbers are plastered all over. So, like, we know
That was my thing, kind of.
Right,
And,
so,
he
like-
said, "This is my personal email."
right. And so, like, you've reiterated, like, here's my phone number, and then he's gonna be like, well, I can't do today. Like, I feel like there's something fishy, and like, we don't have time for that anymore in life.
No,
Like,
and
we're-
like, I told my friend that this happened, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Well, what did you write in the card?" I'm like, "I literally wrote, 'Thank you for being kind. Wish you guys the best.'" Like, it was super
Well,
professional.
What are you gonna write in the card? Want to do it later? Like, what?
No,
like,
I was
like,
literally
what
trying to
kind
get
of
him to buy a house.
Right, but like, what type of question is, well, what'd you write in the card? Well, like, no,
I didn't ask him on a date.
Right,
I
that's what I'm
literally
saying.
said, "If I can ever help you in your home search, let me know with my card." That was it. Period. It
I
was like
think-
2 sentences.
I think we need to say thank you, and if you ever want to buy a house, reach out to me again. But I'm not going to be in New Hampshire anytime soon. Not driving those roads that you know,
Also,
patrol.
why would I go
and-
back to New Hampshire?
Well, you do have a friend that lives there.
No, I mean,
But yeah, no, we're not doing long distance relationships. It's not
no,
happening.
and I don't know.
No, there's something fishy.
Okay.
There's something.
My
fishy.
only thing was like when someone says like, "Hey, let's meet up or have a drink," and then you give them your phone number and they still email you. Isn't that weird?
Right. I think it's super weird. There's something going on
Because
that-
he made it personal, but then not personal by
Right.
doing that. Is that right?
right.
Okay.
I agree.
So we'll stay tuned on that. I haven't emailed back yet.
Ooh.
I don't know if I'm going to. Maybe I will
probably
at lunch after this.
Yeah. Speaking of podcast and people watching it to hear, all of our craziness, Mark has been catching up on some episodes recently. And
Got Brittany in trouble last week.
oh no, I'm not in trouble. And,
Not in trouble, but
So
that was
Al,
all me, by the way.
Just for you, he likes when you pipe in. He's like, oh, Al made an appearance as well. So people like when you join in.
if we bring you 2 Red Bulls,
2 Red Bulls?
is that enough?
No, it's not.
No.
No. We're too far into this for him to so
Wow.
is that a challenge or a promise?
How are you gonna ruin it?
Wait, hold on. I want to see this.
That's what we.
But we do that
That's what we
anyway.
want.
So I want to see where this goes. What are we doing? You're behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, Al. Backdoor Al. We'll cut that. My mouth cannot be controlled today.
That's what we're doing, huh? Backdoor Al. All right. I have a microphone too.
I'm gonna get roasted. All right, continuing on. Sorry. Sometimes
was
these things just
amazing.
come out of my mouth and I can't
That's
stop them.
amazing.
That's not what I meant.
And the look.
It's not what I meant.
Oh, I look forward to this.
Al doesn't do that,
every week.
everybody. What? All right, go ahead. Sorry. Okay. What were you going to say? I'm done destroying the episode, per usual.
Mark just texted me. I'm wondering if we should have him call in and listen. So I lost my complete
We were talking about
train.
Mark. Sorry. Mark's been listening.
Yeah, so he's been listening. So he's gonna love hearing all of this. That'll be fun. We'll have to have him on again soon.
Absolutely. Mark's always a good guest.
He's always a good guest.
He controls the room better. He
Does
reels us in. He's the mayor.
Does he? Oh my God, we can talk about it. I have not
love
talked. I have not asked you this at all. And so I received a phone call the other day from our lovely friends in town because it's election season.
Oh, you gonna run again?
And so nomination papers were available yesterday. And so I have an itch for it. I always have an itch for it. But we get so much shit going on.
No. I'm not letting
so-
you. You
so-
wanted to do something else, and I was like, no.
So
Oh,
do,
the
do
event.
I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
I pull papers and run?
No.
Or do I
No.
No?
When are you gonna do that?
Well, like I told them, it has to be effective for me to do something, right? If I don't feel like I can be effective in change or I can be effective in what I'm signing up for, like this just I don't have time for any of it. But it's not the act of being in an elected office and doing that day to day. It's getting from today to getting elected and all of the crap. in
That's what I'm saying. It's the
between.
footwork.
So like,
Do you get paid for this?
no, I
No,
get
then
paid
the
less
answer is
than
no.
Al does with
This
his Red
year,
Bulls.
we're gonna stop doing all the things that don't pay us. We're only doing things that provide us income. That is our new rule. We've made it past doing all the free things for
Are
2
you
years.
sure? Are you
I'm
sure?
1,000%
Are you
sure.
Because
Yeah.
some of these business ventures,
My debt would concur. No more free things.
some of these business ventures we're jumping down the rabbit hole on. I'm like, are they worth it?
No, we have the big one, and that's it. That's where the focus is going. You're not getting involved with the cackling hens of Whitman and doing all that again. Nope.
So we're working on an app. We're
Yep.
super excited about working on the app. And so we've talked about starting to document a lot of it and like all the good, bad, and ugly behind it. But I will say, I'll share just a little bit of where we're at in the process. We had our first development meeting the other day.
Super exciting.
And so we're kind of interviewing people and all of that. And so the guy that I talked to, first of all, the person who was one of the people that were supposed to be in the meeting didn't show up. And that person like knows everything. Like we're the idea people, and we're like,
He's
no.
gonna put the ideas into real.
And
Yeah.
right. So my brain is like an internet browser that has 17 tabs open. 6 of them are frozen, 4 of them are forbidden, and they just spin in cycles. Like it's just nothing gets. That's anyway. So he doesn't show up, and I'm like, oh, okay. I've got to like finagle this.
Yeah,
And
your time to shine, babe.
Right. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to ask. I don't know what app development is. So I start the conversation of,
Did you tell him about your bow?
no, I didn't. Did I have the bow yet? The bow
You
was
had-
gone by then. It was already, but I'm like, oh, you have an accent. Where are you? And he's like, I'm in New Zealand. And I'm like, oh.
Why would you say that?
It gets better.
What? That's your go-to when you're
It
nervous?
gets better.
What's your accent?
It gets
We're walking a fine, dangerous line there, lady.
gets
That's your go-to when you're nervous.
gets
Oh, why do you talk like that?
better. Oh, it gets so much better. So he's like, I'm in New Zealand. And I'm like, oh, well, what time is it in New Zealand? And he's like, it's 9 a.m. on Wednesday. And I go, I guess time travel's real then, because it's only 3 o'clock on Tuesday in Boston.
Oh my God. Good thing we're not making a time travel app. You said that? What did he say?
He's like, oh, yeah, well, I don't get to the States very often. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, are we still waiting on someone else? And I'm like, I don't know where
You're
they
like,
are.
Nope, I'm running this shit show
We're
now.
running the shit show. And then at the end of
And I believe in time travel. I'm not crazy. Please take my idea. Please invest. Please take my idea. But
And then at the end of it, he's like, and I've recorded the entire thing. If you'd like to share it with your business.
oh my God, please. We need the clip from the beginning. We need it. I can't. What happened in your head at that moment? You that's your panic? Usually mine's like, I like your tie. Like,
I'm pretty sure, like, in the Zoom, he was in his bedroom as well. Like, I don't remember.
he was in his time transportation capsule. So Everyone stay tuned. Okay. On that note,
On that note,
that was a big announcement.
we have a follow-up meeting with him on Friday.
Cool. I'll bring the time continuum from Back to the Future.
And hopefully,
Yes, that was, I could not think of the word, the flux capacitor.
and hopefully, the other business partner will join and run the meeting more smoothly. Because if I end up,
Brittany's get to know you questions are questionable. Why do you talk like that? And do you believe in time travel? That's your opening.
Hopefully the business partner brings like 1.21 gigawatts of electricity.
I have no clue.
It's the juice you need to time travel.
See, like,
All right.
anyway. All right.
Episode 3, over and out.
Over and out. We're done.
Bye.
Bye.